Hi everybody. Good evening. I have Miss Sophia here. You want to come say hi for a minute?
Hi.
Yes, look who's here, making a little debut.
What is that?
Like, you know, when you come into the video.
Oh, okay.
We've been working on something
Yes.
this week.
Yes, it's a big surprise.
It is a big surprise coming maybe later tonight
Or
in
tomorrow.
the morning.
Yeah, or in the morning tomorrow. I'm really excited. I'm also really cold.
Hi everybody. Come on in, come on in. We are getting ready to talk about a principle that I have to apply to my life all the time.
What is that?
All the time. We're going to be talking about when you can't see progress, trust his promise. God's promise.
I know what that means.
What does that mean?
It means that when you think that like there's no way he can help, then just trust him because he always has a plan. Wait.
He does have a plan.
Yes.
So I was reading this on my mug this morning. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see
Wait.
this?
Yeah, there we go.
It's a verse from Nehemiah 6:3, and it says, I am doing a great work. I actually got this mug in a little devotional set in a book from Sandra Stanley. So I was drinking out of this mug this morning in my multiple cups of coffee, and I thought, you know what, that is such a good reminder. So I thought we would talk a little bit about that tonight. Nehemiah says, I am doing a great work.
I'm shivering. I'm
I
so
know.
cold.
You can go back inside if you want
Okay.
to.
Bye, everybody. Have a good day.
Ooh, and isn't it interesting in parenting? Actually, let me ask you one more question before you go inside.
Yes.
So, how do you know that even if you can't, what did you say? What was your advice?
I said,
even if you can't.
even if you can't see progress, trust his promise.
No, I said that.
Yes.
You
I
said,
know.
you know what that means. That it means that God.
Yeah, like even if you can't see a way that God will help you, you need to trust him.
Okay, so my question for you is this. How did you learn that? What are things that Mommy has taught you or talked about that helped you to learn that? Is there anything that we talk about? I know that we talk a lot about it at night. Sometimes we chill in your room.
Yeah, you mostly talk about me just if I'm having a bad day or anything, just tell me to pray about it, and it'll and eventually he'll fix your problem, and it'll I don't know, and it'll get better.
And there's something Miss Michelle from church says hi. I know that she's your small group leader.
Hi.
And you guys talk a lot about a principle though that says
She's not
trust
a small group
God.
leader.
Not anymore, but
Well,
she was.
yeah, she.
Oh, hi. And that principle is trust God no matter what.
What is this?
Yes.
We're talking about trusting God.
So what is it? Is this Facebook Live?
Yes, it's her live. It's her
This,
little
I'm the
spin
most
cycle.
famous one on here.
Oh, you think
No,
so?
you're
Yeah.
not.
Besides her.
What do you know about trusting God?
That you should always trust him because he
I made the
has
rock
a plan
laugh
for your
video.
future.
He has a what?
Plan for your future.
He does have a plan
Awesome
for your
advice.
future.
Where's Jack? I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm freezing cold,
Yep.
but
All right,
good
let me
night,
talk about
everybody.
Okay, so
It's in the middle of it.
when we can't see progress, are any type A's out there? Because I'm not, first of all. I know that you might think I am. It's not. I just have systems, and so that's what confuses people all the time. But I do like to see progress. I will get overwhelmed if there are a lot of things undone. And let me just tell you, there's a certain point that you can handle it. I think any of us could handle it if it's in regards to tasks or things that are undone. I think there's a certain level of, okay, this part's okay, this part's okay, and then you're like, I can't do it anymore. I gotta have order, I gotta have structure, I gotta rein it back in. But when it comes to emotions, that's a whole nother ballgame. How long can you go having emotions undone until you're just I can't deal with it? So I guess in my mind, I need to separate out, are we talking about task? Are we talking about things? You guys can go have a snack. Or are we talking about emotions? Maybe you're processing things, maybe you're work you through healing on things, and there's not really a solution in sight. I was talking to a lady this week. You do? Okay. He likes the spot where we're filming. I was talking to a gal this week, and she was really working through some stuff in regards to just her current season of life and accepting it for where she is. And I don't know why. And so she just was having like a real struggle back and forth with that. And I just encouraged her, like, it's too hard to ask why. I think you need to ask what. What do you want me to know, God? What do you want me to learn in this season? What's my next best step in this? Sorry, I'm like shivering all of a sudden. Because if we live in why, it doesn't give us any like actionable items, if that makes sense. To me, when we flip it and ask what do you have for me right now, Lord? What do you need me to do? What do you need me to work on? What can I do to help others? What can I do to serve others today? What can I do to love well today? Those are more actionable items to me. So I think when it comes to tasks and seeing progress, like, you know, I'm a good one to kind of make a list and like go through that. I have my book right here for work where I put all of my tasks in and work through that. For some reason, I just like a hardcover. It makes me feel like it's a school book or something. I certainly use my notes on my phone. And so I'm able to feel good about the progress I'm making when I can see it happen, when I can see it being crossed off the list. I don't know if that's like you or how you operate, if you like to be able to like actually see it or have something tangible in front of you. The hard thing is when like we were talking about with emotions, when we are emotionally undone and we're not seeing progress with certain things, like, man, I'm working on having more patience, I can't get this right, I blew up at the kids again, or man, I know how I was speaking in that tone, like my husband did not, okay, I clearly knew that was like not good, but I said I was going to work on that, or whether it's healing from something or trauma, like, man, I thought I should be past that by now. Like, those are things I think through, like, oh, I thought I dealt with that, I thought I was healing from that, or I thought I forgave that person, but yet I'm still having all of these feelings. And so sometimes when we don't see progress in those areas, we can get discouraged by that, like, okay, God, like, what am I doing? I thought I was trying, I thought I was doing everything I needed to be doing, and I don't see progress yet. Sorry, I'm getting so cold. It looks like a nice evening out here. It looks nicer than it actually feels. And so for me, I just wanted to hop on here tonight and talk about that, because I had this mug. Remember I showed you this mug? And it's a verse from Nehemiah that says, I am doing a great work. Like, Lord, help us to remember that you are always at work. You always have a plan. You always have a rescue mission in mind, because people are your priority. People are God's priority. It's what he came and died for. And so he's not going to just leave us stranded. You don't leave people stranded who you love. You don't leave people stranded who you care about and who that you want to have a relationship with, right? That's not his character. And so I thought it would be a good reminder for us tonight, when we can't see progress, trust his promise. There's so many in the scriptures, but this was the one that I was looking at today that says, I'm doing a great work. Nehemiah had a huge task of rebuilding a city and rebuilding walls of a city that was in ruins. You talk about being overwhelmed. I'm telling you what, like, to kind of come in and have to be the point person to rebuild some stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation or a role at work or in your community or things like that, but it can get overwhelming, right? For so many reasons. And so be encouraged that even if it's in emotions that you're rebuilding, or even in emotions that are undone, that God has a purpose. He has a plan in it. Like, he's absolutely going to use it for your benefit and for his glory, and really to show others that he's good and that he's faithful, and you can be like a living example of that, like a real life, real-time example of that. He is doing a great work, not just a work. He's not just busy for no reason at all, but he's busy shaping us into who we're meant to be, and what that looks like every single day is better and better and better and better. So it's so important for us to stay surrendered every single day, even when the weight of everything, that list, those emotions, all of that comes crashing down on us. At least if we can start with a surrendered heart. And it's not to say that you're not going to live in the overwhelmed or be overwhelmed by your to-do list or your mind or your heart for that day. It happens to me all the time. Probably I go, a couple weeks and then have a major meltdown. Because when there's 9 people living in our house, I don't know what to tell you folks, but everyone's always having a bad day somewhere. And once in a while, maybe it's once every 9 days I get a turn. Maybe it's closer to that. Just that it happens. And that's part of being human. And so how do you move out of that? I don't want you to get stuck in that. So this is my way to encourage you to get out of that, because these reminders and these promises are a way to pull yourself out of that. So I literally had to put the worship music on this morning in the car. I mean, listen, I listen to all sorts of different music, but today was just one of those days where I knew that I had to kind of get my heart and mind like in sync for things that I needed to do today. And so I was like, okay, God, I gotta really like think and believe my way into this, or else if I just let my emotions run it, we're done. Like, I'm good, I'm out, like, before it even begins. So be encouraged today that even if you can't see progress, remember his promise and that he is doing a good work. I'll see you next week.